Hi everyone, and welcome back to the channel. My name is Josh Boyko with Boyko Bass Reactions. I really appreciate the support that everyone gave to my first video that I did last week. On Friday, I had posted a reaction and analysis video to Northwest Passage that Home Free had just released that day, and it got some pretty decent traction. So thank you to the over 60 of you that have already subscribed to the channel, all the likes and comments and such, and it was to the point where I responded back to a couple comments and was just thanking people for their support watching and for their recommendations of other things to react to. And that, just responding to a few of you, got me completely wiped off the face of YouTube like I never existed pretty much. The video stayed up, but my account had gotten terminated for spam. So that was an interesting thing, but I was able to get this account back, thankfully, to the YouTube appeal process, and hopefully can continue with less hiccups from now on. But I appreciate the activity of you guys responding back in the comments and suggesting others to react. TD Ryder, I believe, was the one that had responded and said I should react to Lose Control, their cover of the Teddy Swims song. So that's what I'll be reacting to today. I have watched this video before. I have listened to this song plenty of times since it came out over the summer-ish, I believe is when it came out. But I just want to make that clear that this will not be a first-time reaction, and this channel will be serving as primarily an analysis breakdown of the piece more than just making faces and saying it sounds nice. As much as the videos do sound nice, I don't have the facial expressions to be a reactor that just makes faces at the camera and calls it a day. So I'm going to have to break it down a little bit for you guys, and I hope you guys will stay with me through the pausing. I'll link the videos, the original videos in the description below that I'll be reacting to, just so you guys can go back. If you haven't watched the video yet, you can take the time to do so. But without further ado, let's get into Home Free's cover of Lose Control, the Teddy Swims hit song, and let's see how it goes with this reaction analysis.
Something's got a hold of me lately. No, I don't know myself anymore. Feels like the walls are all closing in and the devil's knocking at my door. Oh, out of my mind, how many times did I tell you I'm no good at being alone? Yeah, it's taking a toll on me, trying my best to keep from tearing the skin off my bones. Don't you know?
Yeah, so before we go any further, just wanted to get into the first verse of this song before we get into the main part here with Rob on the lead. Just a fantastic smoothness to his voice that Rob always seems to provide here. But the text, the way that he speaks it, out of my mind so many times, the way that he can just rattle that off, the way that he has great diction is what I'm trying to say throughout his pieces, is really something to appreciate in the tone of his voice, his timbre, but the diction really sticks out to me in this song with Rob. And then in the background, of course, we don't have any vocal percussion. It's an all vocal piece with Adam Rupp doing some oohs as well as the rest of the group. And again, like I mentioned in the first video that I did, ooh is the most blendable vowel tone that there is in the background, so that's what we're starting with here, because we want to start at a place where we can build on it, and boy do they build in this song. So we'll get to the crazy parts coming up here, but yes, starting off nice and easy, but the diction is so there from Rob.
I lose control when you're not next to me. When you're not here with me, I'm falling apart right in front of you. Can't you see? I lose control when you're not next to me. you're breaking my heart, baby. You make a mess of me.
Yeah, so now we start to open up a little bit with our vowel selection. We have an ah, and then we have the text spoken back to us in the background. It just varies it up now that we're starting to get into the song. We're not just going to stick on the oohs. We're going to grow the song, grow the sound a little bit by opening up to the ah, which is a much more open type of vowel than ooh. If we started off something super bright like e or ah, that's not how you want to start a piece, because it's really bright. It doesn't fit the style that we're going for. So obviously they're going to start with the oohs, open up to ah, and the tightness in these harmonies, the blend from the background vocals is incredible. And eventually we're gonna start to go crazy here as we get into some vocal percussion will be in the background here. Tim's gonna start dropping the hammer with the bass, so we'll get into that here. I mean, I know I've heard D2 already. We maybe had a C sharp earlier from Tim as well, so we're starting to find that bass 2 range, but we'll get further down yet. I'll back it up a little bit here so we can get smoothly into the next verse.
Right in front of you, can't you see? I lose control when you're not next to me. Yeah, you're breaking my heart, baby. You make a mess of me.
Sorry, as again, I am pausing in the same spot, but just have to make a note on how Rob is approaching this piece, because it is different than how Teddy Swims approaches his own song, because Teddy's got that raspiness, the grit that just resonates throughout the entire song, where Rob is taking a completely different approach to this lead, but just as effective in my opinion, because it fits his style a little bit better. Is just the smoothness to it. He's not going with that super raspy tone on the lose control. He's elected for a much more smoothness to his tone, and not going with the raspiness that Teddy does. So just a difference between the original versus Home Free's cover, but you got to respect both sides of it. Like Teddy, of course, the reason that the song is so powerful is the reason is because he goes with that rasp, is because he goes with so much power. But Rob here and Home Free taking a much lighter, smoother approach to it, making it their own.
Problematic. The problem is I want your body like a fiend, like a bad habit. Bad habits hard to break when I'm with you. Yeah, I know I can do it on my own, but I want that real full moon black magic, and it takes two. Problematic. The problem is when I'm with you, I'm an addict, and I need some relief. My skin in your teeth, can't see the forest through the trees, got me down on my knees, darling, please.
Yeah, so we have Tim dropping the hammer with an A1, I believe, was at the beginning of that verse. So just it's showing the contrast between verse 1, verse 2. You're on the oohs in verse 1. Now we've got our vocal percussion added, and it fits the scene that we're seeing here. It's just dark. It seems like an empty, kind of echoey room that they're singing and filming this in, which makes sense with how they've produced the vocal percussion, to where you hear kind of a reverb, I guess, but like the snare lasts longer than it should. If it was just completely natural what Adam Rupp was doing, but they've got some sort of effect on there to where it almost feels like you're in a church that has the acoustics, where you hit a note, you strike something, and you're gonna hear that for a little bit longer. It's not as noticeable on Rob's vocal, but with the snare, I love what they've added to it to give it that emptiness and the darkness, I guess, that we're seeing to match with it in the video.
I lose control
before we get into Tim going off here, let's highlight the vocal percussion fills throughout this last segment right here. We see the great Adam Rupp. I've seen him in concert, home free in concert a couple times. The drum solos that he does are incredible, but just the fills between lines. Also, to the background vocals, gotta shout them out too a little bit with Bastine and Chance, kind of filling in these gaps with the harmonies, the repeated echoed text that they're giving back to us. So that harmonies that Chance and Bastine provide are vital in filling out the rest of the sound to complement what Tim's doing with the bass at that time. Let's back it up.
Relief, my skin in your teeth, can't see the forest through the trees, got me down on my knees, darling, please. Oh, I lose control when you're not next to me.
There's that repeated text.
I'm falling apart right in front of you, can't you see?
Of course we gotta stop here because we have our crazy bass going on with Tim, but also like the highs of that breakdown that they do. It almost kind of gives me like Queen vibes for a second there, with how it's just the high stuff mixed in there. It really is crazy the opposite ends of the spectrum that we're at, because you got some guys like Bastine up in the rafters on this, kind of like Bohemian Rhapsody almost style, but then at the bottom you've got Tim all the way down to a D1 growl, which is just insane, and that's after he does a D2, so you don't think you're going to be able to drop the octave on that, but this is Tim Faust we're talking about here, so if he can drop the octave on pretty much anything. So let's get through this breakdown again in the middle of this piece.
Next to me, yeah, you're breaking my heart, baby. You make a mess of me, yeah.
I think that's an F sharp 1 right there, if I'm not mistaken, on that first huge low drop, and then he bounces up to an A, I believe. Let's listen to that again.
Oh, baby, you make a mess of me, yeah.
D2, D1, angry growl. Yeah, the fact that he can sustain a growl is pretty incredible too, because I've tried doing some of that stuff myself, and it is freaking hard to be able to sustain a growl for as long as Tim can. Like in Ring of Fire is the ultimate example, of course, because that with the way it reacts in your throat with the growl, like that takes a toll on you. And Jeff Castellucci has a nice breakdown of the growl, saying how it hurts like heck the first however many times you try it. So I don't know if Tim even feels it anymore when he's doing growls. It just comes out naturally for him. But man, to be able to sustain that and have that breath control to not vary the pitch is pretty insane. I know there's like post-production on growls, of course, because you've got to EQ the air out of it, so you're getting just the bass frequency, because growls in themselves are basically just breath. So you've got to take that and get the bass frequency out of it to be able to have it sound good in a music video style like this. In concert, it's just going to vibrate and shake the heck out of the stage as well, which is really cool. If you've never been to a Home Free concert, it's crazy feeling the ground just rumble like an earthquake. But for this, I mean, growls are not loud. Growls are in themselves are not super loud, so you have to have that post production on it in a music video setting like this, so it's not overpowered. But then that you don't overpower everything else when you just get the bass frequency out of it. So Darren Rust does a great job with Home Free and all their production people and engineering of a cappella music are just getting to such a insanely talented level nowadays. So gotta love that breakdown there. Let's appreciate just one more time this breakdown, but then also the high parts as well with Bastien going all the way up there. It's really special what he's doing too.
Yeah, you're breaking my heart, baby. You make a mess of me. I lose control when you're not here with me. I'm falling apart right in front of you. Can't you see? I lose control when you're not here with me. Yeah, you're breaking my heart, baby. You make a mess of me.
Yeah, the runs that Rob Lundquist is capable of are crazy. This is just a masterpiece from Rob because he makes it so his own, and Home Free makes it so their own, but also respects Teddy's version of it as well. It's just what they do so incredibly well, what makes them great at doing covers. But yeah, Rob electing that smooth style, but at the same time it is soulful as can be. And the runs, the riffs that he's doing in this last part of his of the piece here, it's just incredible. I can't do any of that type of stuff, even if I was able to sing in that type of range. The how fast he dances, but it doesn't feel like he's dancing on the pitches. It doesn't feel like you can hear him going from this to this to this. It's just so smooth, transitioning from so many different pitches to each other within a short amount of time, like the runs that he does here. So let's just admire that again.
Not here with me. I'm falling apart right in front of you. Can't you see? I lose control when you're not here with me. Yeah, you're breaking my heart, baby. You make a mess of me.
Yeah, pretty amazing. And again, we saw some pretty cool fills and an effect like almost a record, not quite a record scratch. I don't even know how you would classify what we were hearing Rupp do there for just a moment in that last part of the song. But underrated cover for Adam Rupp with the fills and drums that he's doing in the background. Really enjoyed that. Tim, of course, he's going back down to that F-sharp 1, I think is what it was again on that last chorus. Rob doing the runs like crazy. What else do you expect? Bastide and Chance, the ultimate fillers in the background. Don't want to leave them out of this too, because that's what makes Home Free so great. Is the background vocals aren't just do 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 in the background. The harmonies are tight as can be, and it just complements each person so well. Whoever's got the lead, it's pretty stunning. So an amazing cover here of the Teddy Swims hit from Home Free. That's Lose Control. If you guys have any other reactions that you want to see, I've seen a couple others on the first video already that I'd like to get to. One of the Home Free classics, probably 10 years old by this point, the Let's Get It On and Thinking Out Loud mashup, the Ed Sheeran Marvin Gaye mashup that they did. That one is one of my all-time favorites. Just the bass line from Tim Faust in that is pretty incredible, and Austin Brown on the lead for the Thinking Out Loud portion of it. Tim's Let's Get It On, oh my goodness, that is probably my favorite solo that I know. So I really want to react to that coming up here. If you guys want to hear some more of the classics from Home Free, if you guys are hoping for more of the sea shanty and folk album that they were putting out, that they have released now, definitely comment if you like that. But thank you everyone for tuning in to a second time. I really enjoyed doing this one, bringing it to you guys. If you got any other comments, leave them down below. But give it a like, a subscribe if you like the analysis portion to these Home Free reactions, because that's what this channel is gonna serve as. It's gonna be more reaction than more analysis than the reaction, because I've seen many of these videos before and don't want to be misleading you guys into thinking that I'm seeing these for the first time, unless it is something that has just come out. But yes, of course, thank you guys so much for tuning in for this most recent one. I'll see you guys in the next one.